seated SI joint pushing and holding isometric actions. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be in this seated position. We're going to be getting into a rotator position to feel some stiffening, stretch stiffening in the tissue on my SI joint, and then we're going to do the work there. So I'll go through that really quickly first, as a little setup. So we've all kind of done this thing before where you just sit here, you put your hand there and you sort of just rotate like that. You normally get like a nice little back crack, something like that. As my spine is sort of upright and neutral in this position, I'm really just feeling it through my spine, my entire core. You've obviously done your thoracic controlled articular rotations. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a bit of a flexion and a bit of a rotation. Now I've got a lengthening in this part of my core, my back here, the muscles through the QL, all that kind of stuff. So now as I do this, what I've done is I'm actually moving that sensation from the spine down to the SI joint. Now everyone's going to be a little bit different here in relation to having to scan a little bit to get that position right. So you might have to at this point give it a little bit more rotation, a little bit more flexion, a little bit more, for me, there. Now I can go like way further, but that's not really the point here. What I want to do is I want to just get to a position where I can feel that tissue on that SI joint just stiffening. Just the same as with a band. If I do this, that tissue stiffens. So same as with my bicep, if I just hold my arm still but I try to push, I feel that tissue stiffening just to absorb that force. So we're going for that sort of sensation. So rotate, bend, get that sort of, and then I get here, boom, as soon as I can feel that tension, this is the position I'm staying in. Now, what a holding isometric is I'm going to contract all that tissue around the SI joint to the best of your ability, because it's not really something people can control much. But we're just going to kind of contract all that section there, and then I'm going to use my arm, I'm going to push into my leg this way to try to get more rotation. But this tissue is going to hold on, so there's no motion. Same way with the bicep. As I said before, if I push down with this hand, this bicep tissue is now holding to prevent movement. So that's a holding isometric. A pushing isometric looks identical. But what I'm trying to do here is I'm actually using my bicep to try to actually get more elbow flexion, but this hand is not letting it. So the difference is this is pushing because it's trying to move. The other one, this is holding because the hand's trying to move the arm. So same thing here, we get into this position, feel that little bit of a stiffening there. So now I'm going to use this arm to actually try to get more, and then I'm going to contract that tissue. So that's holding on to prevent movement. So you'll probably do this for about 30 seconds. You don't have to do this hard, like you're only doing this around 30%, but your program will say so. So that's the holding. And then the pushing is the arm stays now static, and you're trying to use this same tissue here to actually pull yourself back around. So here, so I'm going to grab this tissue here, feel it, contract, got tension, great. Now I'm going to use that to try to pull myself back, but the arm is preventing the movement. Now obviously in this video, you have to understand what I'm saying by the words, because they look identical, the pushing and the pulling, but like I said, same thing here with my arm. If I'm trying to do this, but my arm stops me, that's pushing. If I'm trying to hold still and this arm is trying to push, that's a holding. So getting into this position, like I said, to start with, there'll just have to be a little bit of an adjustment. Everyone's going to be a little bit different with how much flexion, how much rotation. So once you get into position, give more flexion, give more rotation of the spine, and then great, I've got it here. Once again, it's just as soon as I get that stiffening sensation, more isn't better. It's because as soon as you go more, you'll probably lose it and it'll move somewhere else. We're just wanting to find it and then do the work there. I think that's it. Enjoy.